to Beyond Sports. We've got with us in the beautiful blue crisp Royals hat, fresh, brand new, our producer, our editor, Timothy Knaus,
That's me.
right? And that nice red elegant Chiefs shirt and hat, Matthew Varick. We call him PP around here for his entire life. It's a nickname he'll unfortunately never get away from.
Never.
You can call him Matt, but we will probably refer to him PP a lot. I'm sorry.
It's a habit.
Then we've got Jason Sneaky with the drum kit behind him that he sometimes smashes around on.
Last name is the same as 90% of people's favorite season.
It is 90.
I hate the summer, actually.
Yeah.
Well, you just kind of ruined
Yeah.
the game I was going to play. I was gonna have everybody take a guess on which season it is. Is it Jason Autumn? Jason Winter?
Jason Fall? No.
Jason Spring?
Jason Somer. Or as we sometimes call him, Sneaky, so you may hear that. And we go down variety of list of topics in sports and kind of just bullshit about it. First up on the docket, we'll just hop right into it, right? We were probably gonna talk about NBA since the only thing happening besides baseball in July that does not matter.
Kansas City.
Especially in Kansas City. New York, congratulations, you're on top once again.
Yay, New York.
The 900th time. Yeah.
Money equals happiness.
Finally.
I know, right? Gosh. The
Year after year.
crappy underdog team doing it. And we have, of course, talking about those Mets. Right? Hey, they're doing great, guys. The Mets are one of the best. I wasn't joking. I don't know if P, I know you're not following baseball at all. Snake, I don't know you, but the Mets are actually doing very well. One of the top NL teams.
That doesn't really jive with the things I've heard my whole life.
49 and 30.
No.
49 and 30.
I mean,
9 and 30.
we played them in a World Series, so they had to at least do a good.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
I have watched the Mets lose a couple World Series in my lifetime.
You have one of them to the Yankees.
Yep, of course. I mean,
One of them to us.
I want to throw this out there.
Because
Royals
that is our
are the
bias.
fourth worst team now, so we're not the
Only
worst.
they
Only
have been solid improvements.
They've honestly done a little better.
They couldn't have done much worse. So
That's true. Hey, we're
We've had
we're half a game behind. No, I think the
we had a decent
Tigers
stretch against the A's there because
they're the worst team in the
worse
league.
than us. Yeah,
Mhm.
so we got to play them and that helped us.
They're 26 and 55.
There you go. But since then, we're playing Detroit now. I don't remember who we played right before that. We haven't done quite as well just because
Yeah, we were just
we
playing
played the
Detroit.
Angels too. We played Shohei.
Yep.
He did great against us. So Shohei Ohtani hit a record for a Japanese player of 8 RBIs in one game, right? He had 2 3-run home runs, right? 2 3-run bombers against us. And we still beat the Angels that night, like 11-10. Okay. This is what when I was talking to her about getting Shohei out of that team, maybe out of the West Coast and into a better time zone, is what I'm talking about. You can't have a guy who bombs, 2 3-run home runs, right? Scores 8 RBIs, and then you still lose.
Yeah.
Fuck is
That's-
that? To one of the worst teams in the league.
hey, it
Yeah.
just goes to show that my first statement
The
of
next-
money does buy happiness and wins was not true.
The next night he goes out and just spins a butte against us, right? Goes like 8 innings, like 1 or 2 hits, right? 10 strike I think it was like 13 strikeouts, right? Just ridiculous, right? He's in double-digit strikeouts against us the next night, and they beat us, I think, then like 2-1 or something, 1-0, some shit, right? Like that. So you have a guy who's scoring you all the runs that should be winning you any game, right? You score 8 runs, you have to win that game if you're any good.
Yeah.
And then the very next night goes and shuts down the other team, on the mound. Eh, This is a guy we have not seen in a long time. He's probably doing it at maybe even you can't say greater than Babe Ruth, but I
Yeah.
think his pitching will hopefully be able to last longer. We'll see. But you got to get him on.
I mean, you also have to worry the
Yeah,
wear and
chicken
tear
wings.
that this puts on that body of his, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's something to be weary of. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, to pitch a full game and then go DH the next few nights. But, I think if
I don't
done
know.
right,
Honestly, that's not a bad gig. You go up and swing a bat 4 times a night.
yeah, I mean,
it's not exactly the same muscles as pitching, but
Right. And
The arm is gonna
you're not out there
soar.
fielding or
he may take a day off like after he does a starting. I wouldn't be surprised if he,
you would hope. I mean,
how old is he?
Tim, how old is Shohei?
I'm on it.
Because he's not old.
Shohei is only 27 years young.
27. So he's got,
That's fairly young in baseball years, right?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that is. But
Guys come into the league so late.
with pitching though, once you get to 35, 36, you are definitely on the downhill slide there. Like, and I don't know if he can make it that far.
Hey,
With pitching. That is the question. Is he going to be able to actually have the career of a pitcher of what you would see in like a Hall of Fame pitcher?
Satchel Paige played until he was 59. So
Okay.
a little different,
Little-
but
Well,
so
but then
Tom Brady before Tom
and-
Brady got it.
And that was Satchel Paige. Like that's special talent, different time.
he was a
Well,
pitcher. though.
I think people like Tom Brady are going to become the norm, though.
With how they are taking care of their bodies these days and the medical
Yeah.
science that they have learned, you would have to believe that, that you're going to see a lot more of this. I don't know how much more, but maybe
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes can play till he's 40 at least. I'm here
I
for it.
mean,
Poolhouse is still around, so
Yeah, although this is his last year, right?
Yeah,
Then he's
probably.
yeah, they're doing his farewell tour.
it's
Right.
42.
Is he back on the Cardinals? Did he go back to the
Yeah, he
Cardinals?
went back to the
Yeah.
Cards.
Good for him. Good for him. Like Wade
Went to high
Davis
school with a
was
bunch of his
last year.
family.
Exactly.
Yeah. One of his cousins was in our grade P.
Who?
I can't remember that kid's name. He only went to Truman for 1
Pujols?
year. Yeah,
Okay.
but Poolhouse, yeah.
Yeah, he played. We saw him. So Pujols actually played at the Chrysler Stadium
Yeah.
in there. I saw him play when I was a kid there because on my baseball team. One of my good friends on my little league team, basically, his cousin was dating Pujols, so we like heard about like his dad and my dad were pretty good friends.
Yeah.
Like you got to go see this guy. Like you have to see this guy play. And we went and it was a home run every time he went up to bat
Yeah.
because he was in, this was a pretty minor league team. This was when he was first coming around, and then like he would just smash the fucking ball. It was no
God.
problem. You're just like, all right, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, a few years later, he's on the fucking Cardinals doing the same thing. But yeah, so he's got Kansas City roots.
Yeah.
It's
didn't
like
he go
that's
to
the point of
Florida
that story that we can also edit out. All right, so I stole the show with baseball. Congrats for me. Good on me.
Yeah, we can cut over to the NBA free agency.
You can try, but I'm going to steer it right back into baseball, boys. Did you see the fight they had? John Boy did like a 15-minute fucking video on
That was a
it.
great breakdown.
I haven't watched
was-
his breakdown of it yet, but I
It
did see the
was-
fight.
it's maybe his best video he's ever done. It is just a beautiful thing.
John Boy is wonderful. So
That fight was wonderful. That fight is what we got to have more of in baseball. You maybe don't
Baseball
want
fights
to play.
are really cool though. I mean, like
Dude,
hockey
they are.
fights happen, I think, a little too often.
Right.
Like
Like,
every game, you're just like, okay, there's gonna be a fight at some point in hockey. Baseball, you're like, is it gonna fucking happen?
Right. I've been to a lot of baseball games. I've never really seen. I'm trying to think of
Never
the time I've
seen
seen a
benches clear.
fight break out on the field. You know, like it happens, but only because there's so many fucking games every year. Like, does it happen often enough where you're seeing it maybe once a week? But
Yeah.
it's not likely that you'll see it if you go to the ball game. You're not,
Because baseball fights are really cool.
they are so much fun. And that
Baseball comes down on them, you know, they suspend them. and
that
pull
was a great
back.
fight because it wasn't a fight of just a bunch of like fucking, peacocking and shit. It was like
Yeah,
punches being thrown, people getting tackled, like it was what you were there for. For a fight. You're like, yeah, fucking give me this a little more often. And that's another issue with baseball is like this shouldn't be like the one thing that's really, like,
yeah.
it's like, oh, the most interesting thing in baseball almost all year is this fucking fight or who's cheating again, or, are the baseballs juiced this year or not? Like, but it is, that's the most interesting, the soap opera around baseball is more interesting a lot of times than the product on the field.
Yeah.
Problem for them. Anyways, basketball, I told you I'd steal it again with baseball.
Oh,
So
you're good. You're good, man.
free agency, what's going on, P?
I mean, money is being thrown. Just they're throwing money. I mean, you got Zion, Ja Morant, and Darius Garland all signing rookie extensions.
Zion, right? What? How
all
do you
cap-
think? What do you think of it? Do you think they will be regretting it because of how injured he is, or do you think their loyalty will pay off?
You know, it'll be interesting to see what type of protections they put in there for themselves. I mean, right now we're just getting the word that the extension's been signed. You know, nobody's really dug into it to see whether it's more similar to Joel Embiid's extension, where it does have those injury protections for the team, which I would expect there to be. Not that you expect Zion to stay that injured all the time, but that just is how the cookies crumbled so far. You know, I mean, big man, foot
Those
injury.
freak bodies come with
Right.
problems.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking a big man and he's had lower leg foot injuries. I mean, those are gonna pop up, and those are the scariest injury for a big man. I mean, look
Let's say
at
those are
Yao
the
Ming.
And end injury or end careers. for a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of-
I mean,
Yeah.
Yao Ming. I mean, Greg Oden.
Right.
Both very talented big men who, once those lower leg injuries started happening, it was over. I mean,
Yeah.
So,
The scary
yeah.
thing.
So
I-
yeah,
Yeah, they're playing with fire a little bit with it. I'm glad they did. I mean, you don't want to see the Pelicans just give up. Where they're like, all right, well, we got to ship off our first overall guy, like our premier talent
Yeah.
dude, the big guys over in LA, and then we're gonna just draft another premier talent guy. And then at least they're sticking with it of, hey, we're gonna see what he can be. We want to actually try to build something.
yeah.
It-
I mean, you
build
got a good
it-
roster.
Like a guy like this.
Yeah, that's a very intriguing roster based on how they finished last season. I mean, the strides they made in the postseason last year.
If you can at least make it to the playoffs without your star guy, then getting your star guy, you're like, okay, Zion, how much of a guy are you? If you really are, then are you getting to a conference final at least? Or,
You know, you hope that he comes in there and it's going to come down to the chemistry between him, CJ, and Brandon Ingram. I mean, those three guys, they have big three potential. I mean, Ingram is just starting to enter that prime. Zion, even if he comes out there and is amazing, I mean, we're still probably 2 years away from his true prime.
Well, he's got to get some playing time under him.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, but CJ, he's firmly smack dab in his
In
prime.
his prime.
That dude-
He's a vet. He knows what he's doing. Hopefully,
Yeah, he's a clutch player. He's done it
I would-
before in Portland. So I mean, it's exciting to see him go somewhere and still have an opportunity.
It
Which-
is because I really liked him and Dame in Portland. I wish they could have done a little more. I
Dame
wish
is-
Portland would have done more with him.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, it was always kind of that grit and grind Grizzlies problem, that small forward position just seems to be the small market teams kryptonite, I mean, the
Yeah.
small forward for some reason, You
They
know,
just-
it's like,
man.
so, no, it'll be intriguing to see, you know, like, because, you know, the Blazers, I mean, they haven't done really much. They just kind of, you know, they made the trade before the draft to get Grant in there. And then other than that, you
And-
know, it is retain. I mean, that's all they've done is retain. And
Yeah, I know.
I
and-
agree with Simons getting the big
retain.
deal. I like that he got his 100 million, but you know, Nerfict is a questionable piece. I don't know if they're posturing for a move down the road or what, but it's just kind of another disappointing offseason start for Portland because it just feels like you're content wasting Dame. I mean,
One
yeah,
flies away.
you brought in Grant. That's a good move. You know what he would fit great next to? Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. But you don't
Yeah.
have CJ there no more because he moved on. So
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I like their partnership. I thought they worked well together. They're just weren't the guys quite around them.
it was just you gave up a lot defensively with those two on the court because they are both small for their position. I mean, CJ's probably small for the point guard position, especially the two guard. I mean,
Get some big guys over there. you know?
yeah. I mean, they did. You know, they brought in like a Robert Covington there for a while, and
You know, they had Robin Lopez. They had one of the Lopez's.
yeah, they had Robin. So I mean, they've tried different combinations and defensive players, but I mean, it's just they can't cover everybody, you know. And I mean, those two with their size were liabilities together. So
Yeah, and they're in the fucking bloody West, which is
yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
you got Golden State there. You've got, you know, when the Lakers decide to be good with LeBron a couple of years back, 2 years back. Shit, it's been a while now.
yeah. I mean, you're talking the bubble was
The bubble was last time. Yeah, it was the only time they were any good with LeBron. It was their 1 year
I mean,
with
it's
LeBron.
just you know a lot of people want to heap it onto LeBron, but it's like, dude,
Well,
at the end of his career, I mean, he does make a lot of the decisions.
it's
But
not
I mean,
him. It's not his play. He built this team, didn't he? Isn't this
he had a
the-
good hand in it. He picked these players, and I don't get where him and Davis truly thought that the Westbrook pairing would fit with their styles of play. And we've seen
dude?
it throughout
Westbrook
his
just
career.
needs to be like, what's a team that just like kind of needs to like maybe make some money by having a star there for a little bit.
I mean,
Go there. Maybe you don't expect to win, but maybe you can get some fucking money in a smaller market.
maybe just go home to OKC. I mean, like,
I guess,
Maybe.
yeah. But
but it's looking like Brooklyn potentially. I mean, they're talking on the Kyrie for Westbrook. Obviously there's got to be some sort of draft picks exchanging hands in that, but because Kyrie has a 5 million or a 5% trade kicker, so once he gets traded, it makes that money almost line up identically between
Yeah.
the two. So, but yeah, it's just, which I don't think fixes it either, because now you're surrounding LeBron with two players that figure historically to play less than 60% of the games with him. So you're still going to be heaping all of this onto LeBron, and he's another year older. So, and then also the question of how do you really flush out the roster around them?
I mean, do we
Cleveland
think,
was able to, but
how much does LeBron have left in the tank?
yeah, I mean, if I'm LA, the move that I propose is Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, THT, and draft picks whenever for KD and Kyrie. Obviously, there's got to be a ton of them in there, but I think Anthony Davis,
You want to bring KD to the Lakers as well?
I mean,
I mean, it couldn't
he's a
hurt.
sure shot offensive bucket. I mean, the dude's going to score. He's not going to.
So you're gonna have LeBron, KD, Kyrie, is AD
He's
AD was
gone.
in that trade.
I'm
on
shipping him out.
him out. Okay, you're
Get him
shipping.
out of here.
He's out. So that's your big three in LA now.
Yeah. I mean,
You still don't have any young guys. Like he's still old as fuck.
you keep Sharif O'Neal, and you keep Scottie Pippen Jr. on your roster. I mean, you can. All they're going to be able to afford is younger players. I mean, they signed Anderson away from the they made 3 signings and they were all younger players. So bravo on them.
Okay.
Everybody, sitting there, they're like, the Lakers signed former NBA champion, and they're like, oh yeah, here we go. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? And it's Toscano Anderson.
He was there for the champion.
He watched it from the front row. He got one of the best seats in the house.
Best seats in the house. Gotta love it.
I mean, they also brought in Troy Brown Jr.
Yeah.
Just young legs are a big thing for them. I mean, Lonnie Walker is an interesting piece. It could be a similar pickup to Malik Monk for him last year, who played surprisingly well. But yeah, I mean, they have not. I think that the best move they've made is they haven't made huge moves because they're normally terrible at those.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know, man. You're letting your star players build your roster, and then hopefully it works out. Because if you don't let your star players build your roster, they might leave.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're a team that is built on
Sometimes
how
even
many
if
stars we can have,
build the roster that your star asked for and it doesn't work out, your star still has to leave, like Katie.
yeah, but Brooklyn has proven time and time again they don't know how to run an organization up there. I mean, they're right now in position to have the 2 biggest failed super teams since
When did KD
2010.
sign his contract with Brooklyn?
What's that?
When did KD sign his contract with Brooklyn?
I mean, what, 2019?
That's when did he re-up with them?
Oh,
after
he
that?
re-upped with them last year, yeah.
Last year. He re-upped.
Yeah, but think about it.
He
Since he's
re-upped.
re-upped, what have they done? I mean, they
And when
bungled James Harden,
how much did he re-up for?
the max. I mean, he would have been stupid not to. I mean, I think he's got 150 left on there. Tim, can you hit me with a Google search? on that?
So when it comes to a star player's contract in the NBA, what is it really worth for the other team?
I mean, this is one of those you look at. I mean, like, KD's
It's-
perspective, he can see that his talent. He knows how many years he has left at this level. He's
You
gone
re-
through a torn Achilles. Like,
He upped with them last year.
yeah, and then since he re-upped, they bungled James Harden. They're bungling Kyrie Irving. They're not improving at all. They got swept out of the first round.
I guess like Kyrie signed the option. They
He
don't
picked
have
up his option, but I mean, they've flat out gone out public and dogged their superstar player's best friend, who, yeah, he wanted to play with. So why are you going out there dogging him? Like, that's stupid business. Like, you can dog him behind closed doors, but as soon as you let that out in the media, you're a clown organization.
2019,
Okay.
he signed a 4-year contract.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then last year I know he re-upped. So I don't know.
Okay, I'm not seeing that on here, but it just says Kevin Durant signed a 4-year, 194 mil.
I thought I remember him signing like re-upping last year too.
Yeah.
Like that's why.
He signed for
Yeah.
194 mil, and then 189 was guaranteed.
I mean,
Like he had just re-upped. But I guess like that happens in football sometimes too.
Yeah,
Odell like re-upped with the Browns. And then
yeah.
not the Browns, or maybe it was the Giants, and then like the year after he signed with
Yeah,
them.
they traded him.
Yeah.
I mean, but he didn't ask for the trade, but he got traded still. I mean, it's okay when the organization trades him because they see him as a problem, but it's not okay when the player wants to
wants
leave
that.
when they see the organization
I
as a
think
problem.
it definitely like I think it's okay. A lot of times when players want to get traded.
Oh yeah,
Situation that they're in. I just didn't know with Katie, it just seemed like, hey, it felt weird. Like you re-upped with him last year. Like you signed with him in 19, then you re-upped with him last year. So it seemed like things were going okay. And now you want out.
I
But
mean, that's
I guess,
three-star players wanting out.
a lot of things can change in a year, right? You can go from the hero of the team that is beating your biggest rival in the playoffs to a guy who they suddenly want to kick the fuck out in order to bring in, I don't know, somebody with like 24 sexual assault charges on them.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird how how quickly things can change in a year.
Yeah, for real. I mean, yeah, it's just KD was in a winning environment that's obviously proven to been a very high-end system, you know, like Golden State, that environment's produced winners, you know, before KD, with KD, after KD. So that being within that organization might have ruined subpar organizations for them, which Brooklyn is. They bungled KD, Harden, and Irving.
Screw up
Prior to
everything.
that, they screwed up Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, and Brooke Lopez as a starting five.
They're the Browns of the NBA, kind of like they're just their organization. Just
Yeah, if it weren't for the Sacramento Kings, this would be the most inept organization in the NBA.
That was a
But they're-
pretty washed Pierce and Garnett, though, wasn't it?
It was, but I mean, that's
Kings-
still a lot of talent but that's also part of their bungling. You know, they gave up the
Yeah, they
Boston
paid a shit
Celtics
ton for
roster.
him. I remember
Like,
that.
you look at the Boston Celtics roster right now, and it's thank you for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett trade to the Nets. I mean,
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum could have been Brooklyn Nets players. They could have also both been Philadelphia 76ers,
weird. What if?
you know, alongside Giannis if they would have gotten him, Drew Holiday, they had him and traded him. So the NBA is a big cluster, you know, of like that. Sometimes you make trades and they benefit you, sometimes they don't. So
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It is nice though to see organizations who aren't trying to just like build a big three, win championships,
yeah, it is cool.
which is why even for the Celtics, it would have been cool. Like the Celtics have done it right. The Warriors have done it right.
Yeah, the Bucks did it right.
Did it right. Like
The Phoenix Suns built their team right, I think. I mean,
you build it and you don't just try to go and grab all these random pieces and be like, hey, like these are all superstar guys. So theoretically you put them all together and you get a championship, right? It just, they just give it to you. Right? You're like, look, I signed a lot of big contracts, lots of money, brought in these, you know,
yeah, and I mean, it's like surprisingly the Knicks like are actually not being stupid because they're saying that they won't trade for Donovan Mitchell or won't put together a package for Donovan Mitchell due to the fact that they wouldn't be able to have a contending team around him. And I'm like,
yeah,
is James Dolan still there?
you gotta find a dude in the draft. Like you just gotta be able to find your dude in the draft. And then you also kind of gotta find like a sidekick for that dude. You know what I mean? Like, you always
Yeah, you got to hit on your draft picks.
Robin, and you hope you can, you know, get it put together just right. I mean, I guess Toronto was able to bring in you know, for 1 year anyways. They got why can I that you
Kawhi.
know why? So
And Danny Green.
Kawhi Leonard, they did build up the rest of the team the right way, and then they
Yeah,
let
no, and I mean,
down
I'm
to
not
super
against
so
the
that they were able to just transplant into their system, and it just worked. They also were fortunate enough to get just a decimated Warriors team in the
team.
final
Yeah, I mean,
by injury.
well,
So-
yeah, I mean, like
Helped that Warriors team at full strength probably.
probably contains them. I mean, they, you know, it sucks. We only got one game really but it was KD cooking them.
Yeah, and when KD came back in and played just a little bit in
Yeah.
the other game, he was cooking them, and then he got hurt. And
Yes, I mean it's
well, you guys were kind of fucked. If
yeah. I mean it is hard to. Golden
But you know what, I
won
want to take-
some of their championships based on injuries to the other team.
yeah, hey, that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
You gotta stay healthy. You gotta try to have a bench, maybe if you don't, and it's tough to do. That's why it's, you know, three straight is insane to stay that healthy, be that consistently good. It's hard to do. That's
Yeah,
why we haven't seen it since the Lakers in the fucking early 2000s with Kobe and Shaq. Like,
yeah. So, and we've had great teams go and win. I mean,
yeah,
There's
and
been
the Spurs
good
have got-
rosters. You know, the
Four.
Spurs.
but in a chunk of time, yeah, the Spurs.
I mean, The
They could
the
never-
Celtics 08 team, I thought had would get multiple championships, and with their big three, and they only got the one. So
It's tough, man. You never know. Like
Yeah.
nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
And every time you see a championship team do everything they can to keep every single piece together, it seems like does not work out. I mean, at least I guess in football, I can see it. It
Yeah.
felt like the Chiefs kept pretty much. We brought back like 20 of 22 starters.
yeah, and I mean the Bucks did it last year
The
too. They
Bucks-
brought back
yeah,
the
the Bucks
majority of their
Back
roster.
every single starter plus AB.
Yeah, so
They fell apart too health wise. They got decimated with injury, just like the Chiefs did, and it's gonna happen, especially in football.
yeah, I think the Rams surprisingly have done a good job keeping and reshaping. I mean,
Yeah, and we'll see what they can do next year if they can repeat that.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a big
Yeah.
trade on the horizon for Snead. I mean, Wes is always wheeling and dealing them draft picks, so he doesn't actually have to spend them on players because he can't do that.
Dude, right. Man, the Rams. Dude, I swear to God, though, if the Rams don't fucking fall apart in 2 years, it does nothing. Why have a fucking cap in the NFL? Why the
I
fuck?
agree. I mean,
They're spending so much money and just giving away all their fucking draft picks. And I'm gonna have to sit here and if it better be fucking falling apart in 2 years. I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, it's
I
Bill-
might sound stupid in a few months
2
saying
years
this,
ago.
but I don't think the Rams are that good. I really don't.
What do you mean? You don't
they-
think they just won a Super Bowl? You can't.
In the NFC, they were the NFC representative, man. Like the NFC is the weakest maybe I've ever seen.
Well,
in my life.
they definitely are this year coming up. I think last year they still had
I
some
just don't think
talent.
they're that scary. I really don't. I'm still not scared of Matt Stafford.
Oh no, but
You
I
don't
mean,
have to be scared of Matt Stafford, but you do have to be scared of Aaron fucking Donald and Cooper Cup. And Matt Stafford is a guy who you can definitely win with for sure. Who will
I think
sometimes
the toughest quarterback in the NFL.
sometimes you will win because of, as they saw in Detroit, because the only fucking reason they won in Detroit while he was there was him and that short time they had Megatron as well, of course. But then you would see Matt Stafford will the Detroit Lions to a win every now and again. And you're like, cool, you guys had 5 wins on the year. And if you didn't have Stafford, you'd probably have fucking 2 like they did last year. So while Stafford isn't somebody who you necessarily fear, he is a guy that can do,
Yeah, I'm just kind of going back, double checking myself. They weren't out there stomping teams. at
those
all.
guys.
No, but I mean, the
You
thing
don't
with
got
Matt
to, though.
Stafford is in 12 years with the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford orchestrated 38 game-winning drives and 31 fourth quarter comebacks.
With the Lions, man,
Yeah.
with the fucking Lions.
So that's the only way you're going to win is a fourth quarter comeback with the Lions.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's
But that's what you need in the pros. Like this ain't college.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you stomping on people. You know who stomped on a bunch of fucking people? The 2007 Patriots. They stomped on goddamn everybody. You know what they did in the Super Bowl? They lost in the fucking fourth quarter to Eli Manning. Like
I mean,
it's those teams that can figure out a way to fucking win when they have to in the fourth quarter. Those are the teams that are gonna. That's what you need in the NFL. You're gonna win by one score more than you're not. Like that's what I see when it comes to the Chiefs a lot of times too, is like we're a better team than you because our guys know how to win when we gotta win the game. When
yeah, I mean, and that
down to
translates.
it, you guys aren't experienced. You don't have Patrick Mahomes. You didn't win. I'm sorry.
No.
And they're going to walk that division easily this year.
The Rams?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the Cardinals are going to try to
Niners.
compete, but I mean,
Those are their own. Are they going to be the real competition?
I don't believe in
Maybe.
Kyler.
But
I'm not a huge Kyler believer either. I think that, but I also,
I'm not a big. I'll tell you, I am not a big Cliff Kingsbury fan.
Yeah, the stats are pretty damning on
more
Kingsbury.
than Kyler.
yeah,
I think Kyler in the right coach, the right system, the right organization, Kyler could do great. I think.
That
From what
that
I've,
playoff game, dude.
that was, yeah,
Ooh.
Cliff Kingsbury did not ask him to
That's-
throw a Carson Wentz
Look.
style interception. That was not the play that he called in.
That's true.
That
That's
thing was
Yeah.
so bad it made Carson Wentz his interception
He's
not
never-
be that bad.
Cliff Kingsbury never won a damn thing in it. Like,
When you
I
make
agree.
when you make both the Manning guys go, oh.
I mean, Cliff Kingsbury's biggest
was so good.
college credential was I coached Patrick Mahomes.
I coach Patrick Mahomes. That was his college credentials.
Yeah.
I coach Patrick Mahomes. And you're like, yeah, and you still had a losing record with him.
Yeah.
Did he get the job off of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
What else was there?
No. They fucking he couldn't win with Patrick Mahomes, so they fucking got rid of his ass at fucking Texas Tech.
He got
So then you-
fired.
So then he was a offensive coordinator at some lower schools. Where do you go after that? I don't fucking remember. And then he like talked to Sean McVay or something and got a job. You know what I mean? Like he like breathed in the same air as Sean McVay. And
That's all it takes sometimes. So yeah, Cliff Kingsbury,
being, oh yeah,
was the offensive coordinator, agreed to be the offensive coordinator with the USC Trojans in December of 2018. And then in January of 2019, he became a candidate to interview with the New York Jets and Arizona Cardinals.
okay.
Lindsey
So
Vonn blocked requests from NFL teams to interview Kingsbury because he had already signed an agreement 1 month into being USC's offensive coordinator. He resigned,
he
then signed with the Cardinals.
how'd USC do that year with
Oh.
him as
He
the-
did not. He was never their offensive
Oh,
coordinator.
he was never their offense.
Never.
Where was he off? Where?
But he had after he got released, he had agreed to be the USC.
Oh,
head-
after he got released from Texas Tech.
he agreed to be their offensive coordinator, and then decided to jump into the NFL for a head coaching gig.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. I mean,
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, probably because the two teams coming after you are the Arizona Cardinals and New York Jets. But
Fuck it. Make that head coaching money
Oh,
in the
yeah, I
NFL
mean,
for
it's
you. Get it
definitely-
onto your resume. It's fine.
yeah,
Even if the worst you do is fuck it up and
yeah. I
maybe
mean,
you're a head
you'll
coach
get
in
another
the NFL.
opportunity. Dennis Allen just got a second opportunity. Do you remember his short stint with the Raiders?
Dude, Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels is about to coach a team.
is
again.
about to be head coach again.
Yeah.
After he's already fucked up his first stint as a head coach, his second stint he backed out of before he even started the fucking thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, and then the dumbass Raiders.
And then the Raiders are like, yep,
Oh, I can't wait for that to
Perfect.
crash and burn. I want that to crash and burn.
it's
so bad.
going to.
Yeah, but is
They-
it going to crash and burn harder than what Gruden did? I mean,
I mean, Gruden had success to
Did
an
he?
extent.
I mean, so far, Devontae
Gruden-
Adams has already lasted almost as long as
Gruden-
the best receiver that Gruden was able to acquire.
Right. Dude, Gruden was known for just blowing it at the end, right? He
Yeah.
would they would just fall apart at the end every single year. And it looked like
Yeah.
that was probably what they were about to do. But their interim, what was his name? The Italian guy.
Sergio,
He was able to like pull some wins out that they probably don't that I think Gruden probably blows for him like he did every other year he was there.
Rich
When they would
Bisaccia.
start out fucking 5-2, and by the end of the year, they're again, set 8-8, 7-9. Now would be 7-10 or
Yeah,
however many fucking mini games they want to play now.
Gruden
No,
went
Gruden.
32-11, and then as the Vegas Raiders, he was 21-11.
21, but that's because when he left, they were on kind of that early run, so he didn't
Yeah.
get that late season fall apart that is coming
yeah.
because they didn't make the playoffs any of his years, right?
Oh,
Like,
I'm sorry, that was wrong.
That's how
He
it's
was
like-
11-21
that sounds
and
wrong.
11-10.
in his two stints.
That was
Makes-
games. Yeah, that was
Oakland
games played. I was
and-
reading.
Vegas stint.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I was
So-
saying his first stint was pretty successful way back in the day.
But not really.
No, 11-21.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
his first stint.
his late 90s. early
Yeah.
2000s.
Yeah,
Prior
he's
to
38
Tampa
and
Bay.
26.
Yes.
Prior to
His-
winning Tony Dungy's deserved
Tony Dungy spot and then getting to play his own
his own team.
better team.
Built-
But he's
team he
on,
built.
you get what I'm saying.
What a good team builder. We
Yeah.
should give him $100 million. Oh
For 10 years.
yeah, dude. Guaranteed money in the bank right there. The dude's so good. He's so good. He was able to beat his own team.
They
Strategically pick it apart. All it took was
Right.
the owner coming down and changing the game plan day of.
day up too, yeah.
Okay, so who's going to be more surprised at their third or fourth place finished? Oakland or the Las Vegas or Denver?
I know, right?
Denver. Denver's finishing last in the division. Chargers.
Who's going to be more surprised about it?
Broncos. They're over there
Yeah.
thinking they're the
Raiders-
Super Bowl champs. They forgot that Russell
Say-
Wilson
say
forgets
what
to
you-
play when it's cold.
Say what you will about Raiders fans, but they're not shocked when their team
Sucks.
falls apart on them and totally
Yeah,
sucks.
that's-
They've been
that's-
dealing with it for 20 years now. That last
true.
that Super Bowl loss of theirs was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
They know what they're dealing with at this point.
Yeah, no, Denver fans really think like this is their year.
Oh yeah,
They
Denver
really
fans
do.
are all in all the time,
Like-
every time. But
Can't
to
wait.
be fair to Denver fans, they have put a winning product on the field at times, and
Yeah.
they should. They have at least the repertoire to say you should expect a good team
Yeah, they should
from
have
your
trust in them.
organization, right? Even if it is like Elway, get the fuck out of there. But
Yeah, it's
But
the
they-
arrogance of it of thinking like the only difference between you and first place these past couple years has been Russell Wilson.
The lack of having him.
Yeah,
I mean, their
there's
defense.
a
their
lot to be
defense
said though
is
for
a
a good
winning
quarterback, and it's not that either. They got rid of their fucking coach and OC. Like they brought in a
Yeah.
new coach.
Yeah.
It's not just we have Russell Wilson. It's we have a whole new regime. We've got a guy whose offense was able to put up 7 points, I think, in the playoff game against the Niners. So yippee, great. Let's
Yeah, with a back-to-back MVP quarterback.
with a back-to-back MVP
Let's not
quarterback.
forget
They
to give
were
him the credentials. he
It was
deserves.
snow. It was snowing. It was a little cold out, guys. I mean, of course, they are the team
They're the Green Bay
from the
Packers.
very, very, very cold fucking place playing against a team from fucking California. So you would think that would actually help them out.
Whose quarterback
But it's-
is Jimmy Garoppolo, and everybody calls soft.
Yeah.
Went through an injury.
Playing
But
through-
Martellus
yeah.
Bennett wanted to say that he's a
Soft ass bitch. Maybe he was on the Patriots. Maybe he toughened up on the Niners. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, it's
We don't
almost like the dude was a third-year player when he got traded from the Patriots.
Yeah, maybe
Martellus
maybe
Bennett.
Martellus Bennett just wants to make some smoke because he's not as relevant as he used to be.
True.
Maybe not. Maybe there's something to be said. Maybe Martellus Bennett is a bitch. When Julian Edelman was reading the thing on the whatever fucking podcast it was,
Yeah.
busting with the boys. Anyways, when Julian Edelman was reading the statement, he didn't stand up for Garoppolo. I say like he wasn't like agreeing with it. He was just kind of laughing with it.
Tommy
and-
Tommy didn't like Garoppolo. Tommy and Edelman is
That wasn't their dude. That wasn't their dude.
Yeah, I mean, that
guess.
wasn't their dude. Like they know him as
I
a
don't
backup
know.
quarterback who got hurt in his one opportunity to play for them when Brady was suspended. And Jacoby Brissett came in and played really well for them. So yeah, they don't have an attachment to Garoppolo.
We about to see Jacoby again.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna see
We've
Jacoby
seen Jacoby.
for a long time.
We're gonna see Jacoby for a whole year now, baby.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
maybe 2 years.
doubt it. I mean, I would love it, but I mean, I don't even think we might not even see Jacoby this year. My hope is that Deshaun gets his suspension, appeals his suspension, gets paid his $1 million, and then next year the suspension sticks.
Yeah.
So
But there's no, I hope what happens is kind of is what we're saying, where like he appeals it, doesn't get suspended, but the Browns were also like, well, we can't put you on the field maybe just from a PR stint. Of course, they did give you all that money, so I don't know
They
why you got
they
to put
brought
on
him
the
in.
field,
I mean, he's
guess.
playing if he's available for the Browns. They're not.
Oh yeah, they're
I know,
Not
but
care about
keep it
how
under
do you,
wraps.
how the fuck do you put that guy in the fucking
I don't know.
field? Good fucking night. Like, this is
I don't
what we're
know.
watching. Like,
I don't.
That
get
dude's
it,
gonna
man.
get like fucking batteries chucked at him on the sidelines and shit. Like,
I mean, you,
Also,
I'm
like,
surprised. There's gotta be some portion of the Browns fans like protesting this and like not wanting to go to games if that's gonna be the guy who's their starting quarterback. Like, I don't think this ends well for the Browns. Like, putting that, like, you gonna fucking tell me this dude ain't a media circus? Like that.
Plus, like, there
You're
a lot of Browns fans for the past 15 years were talking crap on the Steelers and Roethlisberger. So I mean,
right. There
now
goes
it's like-
yeah. They've lost the only thing they've ever had over the Steelers, the moral high ground, right?
and the quarterback that beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. And they also now lost that. Both things totally on them and in one move as well.
Yeah,
We're
I
going to
mean,
lose the moral high ground to the Steelers and the one quarterback who's beat them in Pittsburgh in the playoffs. Like,
God, we're not
doing
Browns fans.
and go out and play a whole season hurt for us with a fucking torn shoulder. And you're going to make him throw 50 fucking times in a game and we're going to fire your ass.
When we
But,
have,
but nobody
we have
came to his
2,000
defense when
yard backs.
OBJ Senior was talking shit. None of the players came to his defense, and the players want OBJ back and not Baker Mayfield. So maybe there's something to be said there too.
No, I mean,
Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle.
yeah, that
But
is.
you did fuck up the one QB that actually gave you success. since
So
football
looks like
now. We're talking football.
McNeil, I don't know who that is, must be somebody popular with Browns fans, posted a Twitter poll on June 11th asking who they would prefer to be the starting quarterback, Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson, and it was 68% Baker, 32% Deshaun. So
damn.
now whether that's only Browns fans voting, we'll never know, but it was 24,000 fans voted. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a
You can't
a
want. What are you
solid
doing, man?
demographic to vote. You know, I mean, like,
So
would have
look,
been nice
we're
if the
gonna,
Browns would have put that out there before.
and with the NFL waiting to put out what they're gonna do, the closer it gets to fuck it, they don't really have time to wait. Because if you want to like have him do the appeal process and not go out there and play, or
Apparently, there's not
try
going
to
to be
go out
any
there
kind
and
of
play
decision until the 18th.
till the 18th,
Yeah.
they're gonna wait maybe that whole time.
Yeah, I mean, which is nice
But
of the
you think-
NFL to bring it down before camp opens.
If you think he is going to start this year, you kind of want to do it as soon as possible to let it cool off as much as possible till the year starts. But if you're the NFL, you don't want, like, I don't think Roger Goodell wants to see him on the field this year.
No.
Like, I don't think anybody higher up in the NFL, the Browns want to see, the Browns are going to fight for him to play on the field because they've paid him all that fucking money and they've wasted all those goddamn draft picks. But the NFL, not at all. So you're going to see that's going to be a battle. The NFL, I think, is going to do what it can to not have it fucking Deshaun Watson out there representing them.
yeah,
No, I mean,
You've got so much fucking talent in the league. Why? You don't need that guy.
yeah, I mean, you got a lot of young
You've
quarterback
got
talent.
so much young QB talent. You do not need that dude. Get him the fuck out of your league. You should
Well,
just,
and
you're Roger Goodell.
Goodell might be in a situation where if an arbitrator comes back and only gives him 6 or 8 games, he might lose his job. And if this might be out of his hands.
Oh, if that
It's not-
happens, Goodell will take the decision into his own hands. He has that power still.
He can. That's the thing, is that it's
This
not
arbitrator-
out of his hands.
This
It is
arbitrator
not-
does not set the punishment. This
She just
arbitrator
gives
is
a
giving
recommendation.
A
Well,
recommendation.
so the way that's going to work is that this person's going to make a recommendation.
Yeah.
If they recommend anything other than no punishment, then
Yeah,
Roger Goodell can alter that.
Yeah.
After that, it is going to be appealed and go to an arbitrator who will
Right.
decide.
And go
Which
to
Goodell apparently has said if 6 to 8 games is recommended, he would accept that under the condition
Here's
there
the
was
thing,
no
like-
appeal. Which I'm like, let him appeal.
You're trying
Yeah,
to
you've got
find,
you have to do the season.
you're kind of trying to
Do the
find a
definite.
precedent for something that like hasn't never happened. Like there's no precedent. This is going to set the precedent. Like they're giving like, well, you have to look back at similar things that have happened and stuff like that. Like this is 24 fucking cases. Nothing like this is.
Yeah, I mean, the place where they're gonna run into trouble is
It's
that
40
they
fucking
haven't
games. Like
never disciplined their owners.
that, but that's you.
So-
You got owners, you got players. Owners aren't really hurt by suspensions. What, they can't go to their
No,
luxury
but-
box and watch the game. But suspending of the owner is kind of the one thing you can do, I guess, besides taking the team away from them, which would be like end all
Well,
be all.
The
They probably should have done with some of these fucking guys, but they definitely should do dance. Fucking Snyder.
the point I
But
first brought
anyways.
up is that the point the lawyers on Deshaun Watson's side are going to make is that he's being treated, is that the punishment will be him being treated unfairly because
I know.
the NFL, one of the NFL's guiding principles that they always say is that the NFL's owners are held to the highest standard, and
Dude.
they haven't punished their owners for anything that they've caught them
No,
doing, like
they-
the Bob Kraft thing, anything
That
Jerry
is
Jones
never-
has done, Dan Snyder, like
Okay, but it's never affected past player suspensions. Look at Kareem Hunt. Look at Ray Rice. Ray Rice, they got
Yeah,
him for a year.
and those are different because you had them on video. Like
Yeah. But then there's
Yeah,
also
but
like Josh
when-
Gordon you can throw in there, like who for
But
his
none of
first
those
season was
also
2 games. And then
none of those, just because it's on fucking video, none of those went to a criminal case, right? I think most of those were settled. You had the same fucking thing. This dude's got 20 fucking 4 of them. Why?
Yeah,
What's?
well, and I
Why is
think
there a
if-
discussion?
I think if
Why
you're on
is
the
there
NFL
even a
side, you say,
discussion?
this is
Actually?
24 separate offenses, not just one offense lumped in.
yeah, that's why I said Josh Gordon's probably a good comparison because like he has probably 24 different violations of the NFL's policies.
And how, and how many suspensions? Total of his suspensions. Why don't?
Dude, I'm on the website looking up just all of his, and it is mind-boggling to try. It is overwhelming to like look
Yeah.
through. I mean, it
There
is
you go.
it's like every day it's a new one.
There's Deshaun's suspension. Let's add up Josh. Let's add up all of Josh Gordon's suspensions. That is what Deshaun gets.
Well, I mean, that's
We'll
I'm just
see you. We'll see you in 6 years, my guy. I don't know.
I mean, you should.
I mean, if
My thought
You
is
do
the
one
NFL
game per offense.
That was my thought. I mean,
Be too fucking easy, man.
do that
It-
until the
But honestly, we're sitting here arguing of what I guess we're trying to be realistic with it, right?
Yeah.
When what they
I just-
should do is just get
To
them
be
the fuck
honest,
out of there.
I
But
have no idea what's going to happen with it.
indefinite's the one I want. I mean, I think
That's,
Yeah.
No, that's the one I want for sure.
and that gives them the wiggle room to say, hey, all these cases have come back and Deshaun's been cleared. They can boom, you were in an indefinite suspension. It's ended immediately. We didn't put a timeline on it. We didn't put a date on there.
or they can then set an appropriate date after these things have been after everything's gone through with it, right? Because you still have 4 cases. Like we're like, oh well, he got rid of most of them. You're like, he still has fucking 4.
Yeah, Ben
Ben
Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger had 2. He still has twice as many currently
with
on
2 more
him.
coming, 2 more are incoming.
Yeah, and I mean, Roethlisberger settled both of his and still got suspended.
Still
We're
in
settled out of court.
right now.
and we're
And,
still what?
and I think we can all agree that he didn't get suspended long enough.
No.
And
Oh
time
yeah.
and there's been a lot of time for us to learn this between then and now and say this, we can't look necessarily just at past rulings because we haven't seen anything like this. And we need to set a precedent for not like this has to be the precedent in
taken
case any
seriously.
terrible fucking thing ever happens like this again.
Yeah, I mean, like, and the NBA is about to, because they're about to get lapped again. The MLB's already taken it more seriously than them, and the NBA's
Yeah,
about to as well.
Look what they handed out to fucking Trevor in the MLB. Like,
Yeah,
just give him. You got to at least get him
Give
out of
Trevor
there
Bauer
for a
2
year.
years.
2 years for
Yeah.
Trevor Bauer, and I mean, we just are
That's a
hearing
death
about.
sentence, right? I mean, that's
For a pitcher, man, that's
Has he already
that's
missed a
tough.
year?
That's tough.
Missed
Maybe,
all
but
of last year,
he's
pretty
played so long that it could be like just a nice like rest for his arm to help to make his career longer.
Is there much
but
of a difference between, and yeah, that's what, like, how do you manage that?
much. Was it
Like, if
Trevor
you
Bauer?
want to come back, how do you even manage that?
you just keep your arm in shape. I mean, you know, like
Yeah.
pitchers have a regiment. You can go. There's nothing to
That's
say
true.
he can't. He can still go pitch simulated games. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he'll probably be fine, but you never know. Like that is a thing. Yeah, 2 years not playing. Like what we're gonna see maybe with Deshaun Watson. You never know. Can that guy be what he was? And nobody's cheering for Deshaun Watson to be that guy. I can tell you that. If he goes out there, not a single person will be cheering for. Man, the Browns used to be that fucking scrappy underdog team that you couldn't help but cheer for.
Now it's the Detroit Lions.
They've kind of always been that team too, but now they're the only one
Yeah. I mean,
in Minnesota in the playoffs, of course.
uh,
They're the team. They're that team in the playoffs, and then like they're that team that's like, you know, we'll often be good enough to get to the playoffs, but god damn it, are we going to disappoint you once we get there?
we'll get
We
to
are
the
going to.
championship, but never further.
Yeah, we are going to shit the bed probably on a field goal, and we're
Our
gonna.
asses beat by the Eagles.
You know what? We are gonna give you one miracle. We're gonna do it. We're gonna give you a miracle against the Saints. It's gonna happen. But don't watch the game next week because
No, they need to. Just that it reminds them of what they really are.
yeah. But at least they got a nice moment.
They
We
did.
all remember the nice moment.
Minnesota Miracle was dope.
Minnesota Miracle was great.
So good. I loved watching that.
It was fantastic, and good for them.
Their squad.
They got their Minnesota Miracle.
Yeah.
We got our 13 seconds. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got a championship. I don't know. I can't really. I'm sorry, Minnesota. We also took a Super Bowl from Minnesota too. So I got nothing but love for them. I always try to cheer for them in the playoffs when I can. When they're not playing the Eagles, of course.
And when they don't have Kirk Cousins as their quarterback.
I'm like, I don't hate Kirk Cousins. He's Kirk Cousins. He's never done well when the lights are shining bright, right? He's gotten paid his whole career for when he's beaten shitty teams. Like he's not going to lose against the bad ones.
He's just struck when the iron's hot too. I mean,
He's
like
not going to win with the good ones. Yeah.
back-to-back franchise tags. He was
He-
able to convey into the first guaranteed contract in NFL history. And
Man,
the
right?
Vikings held hostage so much they re-upped him.
They re-upped him.
They
What the fuck
re-upped
is
him.
that? They re-upped him.
You guys did better with Case Keenum. And you
In the
re-upped
playoffs, yeah. Yeah. Because the dude is banked off of years when he's played in weaker divisions.
Yeah.
Especially the NFC East. And he's played very weak schedules when he's played like just some garbage schedules where he was able to feast off these, shitty teams at noon on a Sunday. But we all know what happens when, you get him against a good team that, an above 500 team, especially under the, in the playoffs or Sunday night, Monday night.
Yeah, that's like the Vikings never think that when they sign these mediocre quarterbacks. We're going against, a Hall of Famer twice a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, okay, we can beat the Bears and the Lions all day long, but yeah, fucking Green Bay, man. Wake
Yeah,
the fuck up. Kirk Cousins ain't gonna do it.
no.
And I don't hate it. It's just he's not his track record shows.
No, and I agree. So here's a question I'm excited to ask all of you, but mainly I want to hear what Sneaky has to say on this one too, because I just know he's got a good pick for it. Which rookie are you guys most excited to see this year?
In the league, all in the entire league.
League, Chiefs, your
League.
choice.
Yeah,
I mean, for the Chiefs,
fast,
obviously,
runner.
Sky Moore, right? I mean, that's the flashy guy.
Yeah,
Can hit you on
quick,
some-
nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I am very interested to see, what our line, our pass rush, can do now with the young guy, although I'm not expecting a ton right away because that's going to take time to develop.
Yeah.
So
For me,
Yeah.
probably Karloftis and Chanel. I think those dudes can be game changers if it works out, like real game changers.
I agree.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it's going to be pass rush by committee. Like
For
we're going
sure.
to have,
For sure.
like you're not going to necessarily know who's coming, but we're coming.
Well, we just hope that we can finally get some edge guys to take some pressure off of Chris Jones.
Yeah,
Because
which
if we can just get
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Jones
The whole
up the
pass
middle,
rush was Chris Jones the last.
and what
2
we
years.
and they really have to focus on contain, because when we're playing Josh Allen's and Joe Burrows and fucking Lamar Jackson's, which we do every fucking year, we're gonna play those guys. We're gonna play them in important games. You got to contain them. Yeah, I don't want to see what I saw in the playoffs last year of us going up the middle of our guy, even Chris Jones sometimes getting up the middle and him just being able to roll all the fucking way out. And
Yeah,
none of it
well,
matters.
I think Chanel's going to play a big part in that.
Dude, Chanel is going to be nice. I'm excited.
He
Like
looks good.
all of his film is just chasing down
And
He looks so fast. He
open
looks
field
so
runners. Yeah,
fucking quick, dude.
yeah,
he
and it's
does.
And he
Yeah,
can hit.
quick,
and he can hit.
nasty, hits hard.
love
can
this
hit.
linebacking core that the Chiefs have built, man. It's young.
It's hungry, dude.
They do everything.
Day and Bolton already look so good out there.
Gazier
Bringing Chanel.
sideline to sideline. You got Bolton just thumping up the middle, and I think that Chanel's going to be another thumper. You know, him and Bolton thumping people in that run game.
Yeah, and like it's really going to be tough for me to pick like who my most exciting rookies are.
I mean-
Because I can pick someone from like the first round class, but I mean like Justin Ross. Like if he makes the team, that's instantly
Yeah,
my most
he's-
exciting guy.
Him and
All of,
Isaiah
uh,
Pacheco. are my
Georgia's
two.
defense. That's who we're gonna.
I don't think Pacheco's gonna. I don't even think he's gonna make the team. Honestly,
I think he's going to.
You've got
I think he's going to be our
many
kickoff
backs are we gonna
returner
carry?
At least.
There's talk
I
of
mean
him.
Pacheco probably goes to the practice team.
I think he's going to be our return man.
If he impresses, I see us trading away Ronald. I don't think
The guy we just signed.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's a career backup. I mean, think about what we did with Carlos Hyde. You know, he could just be another Carlos Hyde type guy. We signed him early on,
Maybe.
goes out there. If he flashes in preseason, good. But if he gets beat out by a rookie, better. Because
I'd rather see us try to get.
a team will get an injury in training camp, and Ronald Jones has miles on there, and he has playoff experience, and he has big game experience. So, I mean, he'll be a guy that people.
I'm pulling up I want to pull up the draft to refresh myself on the picks.
Yeah.
Because I can talk about the Chiefs ones, but
Trent McDuffie and Brian Cook. I want to see what they can do as
Yeah.
our DBs. So
yeah.
Yeah,
McDuffie
I mean,
looks McDuffie.
McDuffie
Man,
and Sky
can't
Moore
wait
are
for
the
that
two
guy.
that you have to say that you're excited
Yeah.
to see just because they have to work out.
but we know they're both going to make the team.
yes
so,
and no. I mean, yeah, with
Sky
corner,
Moore doesn't necessarily have to, but
No.
man, Trent McDuffie has to work out.
Oh yeah.
My picks for just the Chiefs would be Leo Chanel. Is
Yeah.
one I'm super excited for, and then I'm also going to go Justin Ross. I know he's a
Yeah.
undrafted.
Okay.
Justin Ross looks like if he
Yeah.
can work, if he works, man, he's going to be exciting. I think.
If he can bounce back, that could be an absolute steal. That could be an Arian Foster level steal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Arian Foster, or I mean,
yeah.
Alfred Morris, another undrafted player who had big
Tony
success.
Romo.
Tony Romo. I mean, that's the stratosphere you could put Justin Ross in if he can come back. So
See,
if I were to go NFL as a whole, I mean, obviously because
I've got a
probably know where I'm
couple.
going, but I'm going Jordan Davis, baby. Big boy, right next to frickin' Fletcher Cox.
okay, you're talking about Philly.
Of course I'm talking
I know.
but, I mean, he is just
Let-
think about this dude. He is big. He's
Well, he's a nasty looking team
30
this year, man.
pounds, and this fool is shedding people. He's
Yeah.
fat.
Man,
Intriguing
hey.
prospect, and he's got a great person to learn under. Two good people to learn under. In Philly, that
Yeah.
D line is going
D line would be solid.
Going to be
I
disgusting.
mean, a few other D lines that could get changed. I'm very interested to see if Trayvon Walker actually works out for Jacksonville, or if they got Detroit the steal and it was just like meant to be with this Michigan kid.
Dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say Aiden Hutchinson because I think it's cool that he's from
He-
Michigan, ended up at Detroit.
He ended up back with them, and he's like for sure gonna be like he's got to be good, right? Almost like he
Same
seems
kind of with
I am-
Kenny Pickett.
pretty. Kenny
Pittsburgh to
Pickett,
Pittsburgh.
yes. I'm
I'm actually excited to see Kenny Pickett. I don't
I
like
am too.
Pittsburgh, but I just love.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
quarterbacks. man.
They usually Pittsburgh usually doing things right. They usually get some good wide receivers.
Yeah.
as Well,
Always got a
so
good
I am-
core. So
right. I
Gotta keep
am.
your eye on George Pickens and Pittsburgh.
And
too.
look,
Yeah.
all you got to do, look at Pittsburgh was at least able to make it to the playoffs last year. So all he really has to do as a rookie is be as good as Ben Roethlisberger was his very last year as a QB
Yeah.
when his arm was like fucking dangling
taped onto him.
off the side. Yeah, just like a string, man, holding that shit on.
Dude, but I really agree with you, Sam. I'm intrigued by Trayvon Walker. I mean, that was just
The number one overall
Jacksonville.
pick, yeah.
the guy who never had
Jacksonville.
more than 6 sacks in a year, who never won his conference defensive player of the year.
Amen. But he's got so much potential.
He does, but I mean, that's just Trent Baalke, man. That's a Trent Baalke move. I mean,
Gonna
that's
do
Alden
it.
Smith. I mean, Alden Smith worked out for him up until the off the field stuff. And I mean, obviously you hope and you don't foresee that happening with Trayvon Walker. You hope that doesn't go down.
I like
Yeah.
Christian Watson to the Packers.
God,
wide
I love that
receiver.
pick.
That was a great
Yeah.
pick for them. I think they kind of replaced that MVS that the Chiefs took
Yeah,
from
and
the
I mean, he has
Packers.
upside to potential. I mean, they're another team that kind of like Pittsburgh. I trust their evaluation of wide receivers. They've
Yeah,
done
They
it.
found a lot of good wide receivers in the second, third, fourth
Yeah,
round.
yeah, so I mean-
so
I had
they usually find a guy.
first rounder in
somewhere.
my.
But will Aaron Rodgers throw to them?
Oh,
Sure.
I
I'm
mean,
he
he
sure.
has
has
to
Devontae
now.
Adams to throw to.
He's got to throw to somebody.
And I mean, Randall
Yeah.
Cobb maybe is one of his best friends, but the dude can't separate anymore. So I mean, you can't force him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's gonna be throwing more
Yeah.
picks than we've ever seen. So I mean, I think
Mhm.
Christian Watson is in an ideal situation, but the whole receiver class is stacked.
Well, yeah, we'll see who comes out on top because some of these guys, they ain't gonna make it.
No, yeah, I
So
mean,
I'm really interested to look back in like 5 years at this wide receiver class and see which guys,
yeah. Once we start
close to the
seeing
top.
those 5th-year options, the contracts being signed, get picked up, and all that, that's when
sure.
when you really know. I mean, like
Yeah.
typically
When
people
you
just
see us trading Sky Moore away because we can't afford him, but then drafting the next guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Which a good thing is, I mean, you probably get one additional contract out of Sky Moore if he,
Maybe I can replace this one with a Sky Moore, huh?
or just add
That'd be
around
nice.
it, man. Just
Or
why
just
take
add
that
it,
down?
yeah.
I mean, that's a Super Bowl champion,
Yeah,
and
We
he,
will always have Wasp.
I was gonna say the most
yeah.
important play in that Super Bowl was Wasp. So, I love Tyreek. So
Sure, it's all right.
hopefully he does well in Miami. I hope he's.
I'm fine.
I
Dude, I
truly do.
don't hate Miami. Miami's,
Yeah. I've
I
always
mean,
I'm not down with dudes talking shit on the way out of town. I hate that shit.
I know, right?
I hate it every
I
time.
do it the right way, but I
It
mean,
was, it,
And I'm not
it
gonna
was
try, I'm
to-
not gonna treat him any differently from fucking
I'll just say it was to build up his guy. And then it was also to get listeners to his podcast. He was starting a show. He had to say some things to
I
get people
will say-
listening.
But does he need to say things to get a pot? He's Tyreek Hill.
but I would say
Yeah.
like I'm not
I
going to
don't
say
know,
okay,
yeah.
Mahomes has a rocket arm, right? So I'm betting that football hurts his hands when you try to catch it. I bet it does not feel good, honestly. But I bet Tua, who has a good arm, but not a Patrick Mahomes arm, I bet that football is a lot nicer to catch. Like
Yeah.
I
It's
bet
also-
as a receiver, that is a better ball to catch because it's not being put everything in there every time. And I mean, yeah, we take it as a shot at Mahomes, obviously, because that's the place he left. But like, he's just pumping up his dude.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I mean, he
Ever
did
since
say
got there,
some.
he was the old coach. So
He did say some dumbass shit, but I don't think I don't hold anything against him. I
Yeah.
appreciate his time here. I appreciate what he helped us do.
every single
Um,
star receiver in the history has thought that they could get the ball more often.
Right.
Every one of them. I mean,
It was crazy to say that on a year where
you break your personal bests and a lot of
he ever gotten the ball. There's the most targets, the most catches, the most everything, and he still had the
Yeah, and then
second
you
most
leave one of the top 3
drops.
teams in the league to go because you're a little upset about not getting 10 more catches.
Yeah, so I don't think it was about that. I think it was about money, and you
Yeah.
can't blame the guy for going for that.
already
Hey, if
taken
you
less
wanted to do that.
twice.
But yeah, talking shit on the don't love it, but I think he was really trying to build up his guy because everybody was the whole narrative was like, oh, you ain't gonna be able to you with 2-0, so you ain't gonna be getting them big old plays. You ain't gonna be able to like, do what you're known for, basically. And he had to push back a little. I think, that's what he felt.
It'll be exciting to see what happens, I mean, and a lot
Can't
of
wait to see him cost Miami a game on a taunting penalty. That'll be fun.
hey,
Yeah.
like I said,
They let him
I-
get away with some stuff with us.
Probably should have cost us the AFC Championship
uh,
or the divisional game against the Bills.
Oh no, that wasn't that bad.
no,
Because he wasn't pointed at anybody at that time.
yeah, they weren't fast enough. Like I said, I hope he has success down there in Miami. I mean, we'll see what happens. So
We can yeah. Yeah. And we'll curve back to the topic of the draft. Sauce Gardner, that's gonna be fun, right? Hopefully New York does the right thing with the Sauce Gardner, and it can just be fun to watch.
well, it
So-
has me excited for this year's football season, and I think it'll be intriguing. That and NBA are both.
The Jets are at a year where you gotta do something. You gotta start pointing upwards. You gotta show, hey, we've got a bunch of draft picks. Coach,
Yeah,
this
they
is
had
your
a
second
phenomenal
year.
draft.
Yeah, the coach, this is your second year with the team. This is the QB's second year in the league. We need to see some sort of progression. We're gonna have to see a little bit of a wins. We are in a tough division, but there's nothing you can do about that. You have to be, you have to figure out a way to be the better team. So the Jets are in a very intriguing place. If the Jets shit the bed and go, and have 4 wins, what kind of leash is Robert Saleh on with that team?
I think it really depends on how many wins he gets. Like, I think he can still
Right.
finish 4th, but if he puts up enough wins
Yeah,
to at least show that they're going forward, because you said it, they're in a murderer's row division. Like, that's
Yeah,
a rough
nobody-
division.
Nobody talks about it because the AFC West is like that division this year, or at least seemingly we're that division.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
Bills, Patriots,
AFC
and Dolphins.
East is
like,
it's tough. I mean,
there's not a lot of
we all
weaknesses on those
expect a
teams.
the
Patriots.
Bills. Oh, we've got less than a minute. Shit. Fuck.
So yeah, let's just wrap
Balls.
it here and let's leave a question for the people watching tonight. Let's have you all chime in and tell us what rookies you're most excited to see this NFL season.
Yeah.
And
Leave it in the comments.
like, comment, subscribe, help
The
us out.
things. The things, all the things.
Yeah. Hit us all, and then turn on that notification bell too. And then weekly, whenever we post these videos up here, you'll be the first to know and be the first to watch it. Come on, baby, join on
The
in.
first and only.
Hey,
All right.
got to start somewhere.